Hey everybody, welcome to D&D News. Apologies there. I was trying to get everything working for my camera, got everything all set up as much as I could, but for some reason, OBS would not, didn't have permissions to look at my camera. So now we got that all figured out, and I'm here with you now. Hi, it's nice to be here on a Tuesday after it was Memorial Day weekend here in the United States. I hope all of you enjoyed the long weekend as much as you possibly could. It was super fun for me and my family. We played a lot of games, drank a lot of coffee, did a lot of trivia. I don't know if that's a thing that other people do, but we ended up playing a lot of fun Jeopardy games and trivia games that have been going on over social video conferencing. So it's been tons of fun. Hope you are here. But we did do something really big at the end of last week, which was announce D&D Live 2020 Roll with Advantage. It is a online streaming convention that will encompass many of the parts of D&D Live's past, including announcements of our new storyline coming from Dungeons & Dragons this year in 2020, as well as tons of fun and interesting people playing Dungeons & Dragons, many of which are playing for the first time on a live stream with some of our most expert veteran DMs guiding them through that process. We also will have tons of unique gameplay for everyone available during that week of June 18th is when it all starts at 10 a.m. Pacific time. And we're all doing it for a good cause. We're all raising money for Red Nose Day here in the United States. It is a fantastic arm of the Comic Relief charity organization, and it is doing amazing work, getting a whole bunch of money for folks and children affected by the COVID-19 crisis right now. And so not only are we raising money for a really good cause, but we're giving you lots of entertainment for it. So there's a couple of ways that you can help and promote what's going on during Red Nose Day, which is a t-shirt. I'm not wearing it right now, but I should have got it laundered and ready to go for this D&D news. But it is an adorable t-shirt put together by our graphic artist Emi Tanji. It has a snowy owlbear with a red nose right on the front of it. It's fantastic. And it's not just t-shirts. You can get a bunch of different apparel available with that design. All the proceeds for that will go towards Red Nose Day. There's also an amazing adventure, which I'll get to talking about later in the program. But I wanted to show some of you the trailer for D&D Live 2020. It's just a 30-second spot, but it definitely encapsulates a lot of what is amazing about it, as well as some of the biggest names in entertainment coming together to play Dungeons & Dragons for this wonderful cause and for this wonderful hobby. So here is the 30 seconds of love and appreciation for Dungeons & Dragons that you won't get anywhere else except for at D&D Live 2020. Check this out.
Would you like to play some Dungeons and Dragons?
One of our characters got grabbed and swallowed.
Okay, now I'm like teleporting over here.
Always putting on a show.
It actually saved the group. D&D is about your friends.
It's people helping each other through story.
And now we have a chance to do that for real with Red Nose Day.
Join us and let's save the day.
Yeah. I still have that opening line from Thomas Middleditch in my head. Do you want to play some Dungeons and Dragons? It just makes me so happy. I have been watching Silicon Valley, finished up the last season just a couple of days ago, and his work on that, as well as, I don't know if you've seen the special on Netflix, Middleditch and Schwartz, but it is fascinating to see improv comedy in that long form. And it has so much DNA that is shared with Dungeons and Dragons that I know he would be a fantastic. I was switching between fantastic and perfect. So a fantastic performer to jump into playing D&D. He's done tons of other D&D like things in the past, but this will be really exciting. And he's playing alongside Brian Posehn, who has done some great work with Forrest Gray, Kevin Sussman, who you just saw in that trailer, another fine comedian. And we're adding a couple of names to that group now, too, that I can't announce yet, but are very exciting, as well as some other great developments in the works for additional games putting together. But there is the amazing thought of Jeremy Crawford playing as Dungeon Master for a group of WWE superstars. That's going to be fantastic. I can't wait for that. Deborah Ann Wall is returning to Dungeon Master for a wonderful group that she has helped to assemble, including some co-stars of hers from True Blood. Janina Gavankar, as well as Stephen Moyer, will be joining that group. That was her co-star in that show, and I can't wait for that. Matthew Lillard is also joining that group, and we're talking to him this Friday on Dragon Talk, and so I'll be sure to pick his brain about what he's going to announce as part of Beetle and Grimm's, not to mention playing in Deborah's game, and that'll be super fun. Who else is there? There's Brandon Routh, from Superman, is going to be playing along with David Harbour, Karen Gillan, and that is a fantastic and amazing group that we're calling a heroes group, because they all have something to do with superhero movies. And so Chris Perkins is going to be leading that group, as well as another fantastic combination of talents in what we're dubbing the Red Nose Day table, with Martin Starr, Brett Gelman, Maitri Ramakrishnan, and Felicia Day, which will all be really fun. We played with Felicia Day many times before. Martin Starr, we've always wanted to get around a table. You might remember him from appearing in Freaks and Geeks, around the Dungeons and Dragons table, along with many of his co-stars in that table. And Brett Gelman, he's one of those guys that you've seen so many times, and once you see him, you're like, oh, I know him. You most likely will recognize him from Stranger Things season 2 and 3. He is a prominent part of that, as well as showing up in a lot of other projects as well. So that's going to be a really, really fantastic lineup as far as the entertainment goes. But beyond that, you'll also be able to play tons of Dungeons & Dragons throughout D&D Live and beyond. There are 4, count them 1, 2, 3, 4 D&D Adventurers League Adventures sessions, adventures. They're about an hour long. They all will add up to 4 hours of awesome introduction to the storyline that we're introducing as part of D&D Live, and you'll be able to deduce some information by playing through those adventures. For a really fun thing that we'll be giving more details about soon, called Reality RP, that will have a lot of familiar faces for those of you who've been following Dungeons & Dragons for the last few years, participating in a combination of D&D gameplay, the deduction kind of clue or werewolf gameplay, or Mafia, you might know about that. We're trying to figure out who is the secret informant, amongst other things, and then having a reality television kind of bent on it. So the NPCs that the actors are portraying are playing as characters within this new adventure that we're rolling out there. And so those of you at home will be able to watch them, see them interact with each other through social media, through things like Instagram, and hopefully figure out who is, and not necessarily to blame, but who is the one who is not to be trusted with a Herculean task before them. I don't want to give away too much. Even just describing that story right there, I had to weave through some details so that I would not give anything away. But it is exciting, and I want you all to spread the word as much as you can. We want to get people watching Dungeons & Dragons play, because it is super fun, and we think it is wonderful for people to engage in, especially during these times of social distancing and all that's going on. So set your calendars, June 18th, 19th, and 20th, D&D Live 2020, Roll with Advantage. It's going to start with a bang on June 18th at 10 a.m. Pacific time, and we will be entertaining you for 3 full days beyond that. So, I've been working on it super hard behind the scenes, and I hope you all are going to see what's happening when it all gets unraveled before your very eyes. It should be tons of fun. I'm really excited that Anna Prosser is returning as host for that. She'll be using her expertise as a D&D fan as well as a host to explain all of what's going on with the storyline, asking Chris Perkins all the right pertinent questions for what's going on with the story, as well as finding out about new products and new things that you may not know about to be announced during that time as well from the people who are making them. So many fun things happening, and I can't wait to share it all with you starting on June 18th at 10 a.m. Pacific time. Look for it, people. What about these minis? Do you want to look for them? I see a mini and I want to paint it black. These are the ones left over from last time. These are my, see, when I'm in there to make it out of focus, it looks like it goes in focus, but then as soon as oh, come on. Seriously, this was working so great. And now, why is it doing it back there? Here, what if I go down here? Maybe I need to lower it so it's getting more of an angle, huh? What do you think about that, Barghest? Well, I don't think that's right at all. I think I shall destroy you with my claw of death. But I have a bird. I am a spring eladrin, and this bird will attack you. No, please don't. I'm gonna go over here. Bye. Yes. They are my friends. We are going to get to talking more about all kinds of miniatures. I'm going to be opening up this amazing box of awesomeness. It is Icons of the Realms, Baldur's Gate, Descent into Avernus, Arkan the Cruel, and his Black Order, the Dark Order, all of the amazing groups. Oh, sorry if the ring light is making bad reflections. But I'm going to pop this open and show them off using that mini cam, as well as talk through some amazing, cool things that are happening in D&D world. So let's do that now before we get to our middle section of D&D news. I didn't have time to put all these buttons into the thing, so I'm just going to be clicking around here. Apologies for that. But I do have some amazing things to talk about for an awesome game that is on your phone called Warriors of Waterdeep. We have been working with Ludia for a long time on Warriors of Waterdeep. It's best probably described as a turn-based strategy game set in the D&D universe and the Sword Coast city of Waterdeep, but it sends you off on different adventures, and you have to recruit party members and then use them in tactical gameplay that is reminiscent of like a Final Fantasy Tactics or something like that, but then it uses all wonderful D&D turn-based things to make it happen. They've been around for 1 year. They've been in launch mode for 1 year. I remember hanging out with Stephen David Wark and the rest of the Ludia team at D&D Live 2019, The Descent, which was tons of fun. And they're doing some fun things going around the 1 year anniversary. So Jarlaxle, you'll be able to recruit him for another 5 days. It is live right now. You'll be able to get Jarlaxle if you win 80 battles over the next 5 days with your crew. You'll be able to add Jarlaxle to your event. So go ahead and get that to it now. There was a limited amount of chance of time to do that previously, but now you can have that open again, which is awesome. There'll be daily gifts in your mailbox each time that you log in during this anniversary event. There's also some new wallpapers that you can download, which look really cool, and I wish I had the time to get them here so I can show them off. Maybe I will actually try to do that right now while I'm talking to you about it. But the Warriors of Waterdeep team is always putting together really fun stuff at warriorsofwaterdeep.com, including these actually I'm not going to be able to get these in time. Let me just think about it. I can't talk and get all this going in real time. I might do it maybe when D&D Rewind is playing. But if you go to warriorsofwaterdeep.com, you'll be able to download those wallpapers, as well as a partnership with D&D Beyond. They have a set of downloadable character sheets that you can grab for the original 4 heroes that shipped with Warriors of Waterdeep. And those heroes are named Halbanet, Neomlin, Shivareth, and Thomas. and you can play with those characters in your D&D Beyond campaign game with PDF versions of those character sheets, or just the digital version of them on D&D Beyond, which is super cool. And then I do want to share, finally, this last thing. It is a video. It's about 2 or 3 minutes long that the Ludia folks put together for the Warriors of Waterdeep anniversary. It's got some behind-the-scenes things of when the game was being developed. They actually made it, even though it's a mobile game on your phone, they did it with tabletop prototype pieces, and that's really cool to see some of that and then where it all ends up. So take a look at this awesome anniversary trailer from Ludia on Warriors of Waterdeep.
Oh, nice. I'm gonna do it clean here.
Hi. That was awesome. What a great kind of preview of some things to come at the end of that. As you might have guessed, I'm trying to put together something, because even though I say I won't be able to do it, I'm trying to do it anyway. I won't be able to show all of them, but I do want to show at least one of the cool wallpapers that are out there from Ludia right now. Many of you may recognize some of this kind of fun stuff. So here, check this out. I'm going to try and talk over as I'm doing it. Okay, good. That still works. So yeah, look at this cool wallpaper. Obviously, you know that you can look at it in vertical form on your phone, just using that red dragon head as the background, or you can do the full widescreen thing if you're doing it for your laptop, or full screen. You know, what's it called? A monitor. That's right, a monitor. That's what it's called, Gregory. Here is also another one that I'm just getting ready so that you can look at it. Is this one? It's an old school, a little bit stretched here, so apologies if the resolution is not quite the same here, but I loved that they took a old school image that you might remember from the Eidolon and the gemstone of eyes being pried out of it, and gave it a Warriors of Waterdeep bent to it. Super cool stuff. Again, those are all available at warriorsofwaterdeep.com right now for well, actually no, not all of them are, but they'll be releasing one per day at Warriors of Waterdeep over the next few days. So you got lots of reason to check back and see what they got going on there. All right, what do you guys think of all that? How you feeling? You feeling good? Oh yeah, so there's classic wallpapered and old school style. There you go. And thank you for Jack putting that link in there. Some really great fun stuff. I'm glad you're able to check it out. I will have even more to talk about Warriors of Waterdeep next week. So look for it if you are interested. Something else that I wanted to talk to you about is a amazing book that's coming. It is called, you may know what I'm going to talk about, but it is called Mystic Odysseys of Theros. This book will be available digitally on June 2nd. You'll be able to get it on D&D Beyond, as well as through our partners for virtual tabletops on Fantasy Grounds and Roll20. And you will be able to get these two covers starting in hardcover form on July 21st. We had some delays due to all of the things that were closing, including printers. And so the delay means that you'll get those on July 21st. But we encourage everyone now to pre-order the book through your local game store as much as you can. We are offering a couple of incentives for you to do that, including if you pre-order now before June 2nd, so you've only got a little bit of time left, your copy through the first 20 fans who do that through their local game store will get a unique code that you can download that same content from D&D Beyond at a steep discount, I think around 50% off. So you'll be able to get it digitally ahead of time, and then you'll get the awesome book when it is in game stores on July 21st. And not only that, you'll get an amazing map if you pre-order through your game store before that time. So lots of good things about that. We have been attempting to support local game stores as much as possible. It's no secret they're getting a lot less foot traffic. People going in and browsing is happening less and less due to social distancing right now. But many of them have amazing inventories, and they're still getting inventory in for selling during this time. So we encourage everyone to go to our store locator, try to find a local store near you, and order through them as much as you possibly can. And we're also been debuting a couple of new episodes of a show called On Tour with Dragons. We are working with Jason Charles Miller, who you may recognize from Sirens of the Realms, not to mention at D&D Live, performing music. He is a musician in addition to being a voice actor and a D&D player. And when he was touring with his band this fall, he went to as many game stores as he could and took a tour, talked to the people behind it, and they ended up putting together a bunch of episodes of really cool stores around the country. And we wanted to release those. Then everyone was not being able to go to those stores, but then we realized that they could be a wonderful way for people to enjoy that experience of going to a game store and talking with the community and the fans there, even though they weren't able to physically go to those locations. So take a trip. I think the one that was just released is about Atlanta, or about the game store in Atlanta. And I'm blanking on the name of it right now, but I will find that. And yes, Battle and Brew in Atlanta, Georgia. So go check out on our YouTube channel, On Tour with Dragons. There's 2 episodes that are out right now. The first one was for Asgard Games in Houston, Texas. And so lots of great stuff there. Now is the time for D&D Rewind. That is where we take a look at some of the best shows that were on the D&D channel in the last week and highlight some of the best, funniest, most compelling role-playing moments from those shows. A, as a shout out to great role-playing, and B, as maybe a way for you to start paying attention to more shows on the channel during this time. So without further ado, I'm going to show you everything that has been happening over the last week on D&D Rewind.
You'll recall that some of those were re-released in a kind of, revisited format, but then many of them weren't re-released and ended up appearing in that book. Or, similarly, we recently had 2 subclasses appear, or rather, my sense of time is all all tangled up because of the quarantine. But we have some that will be two that will be appearing in the upcoming Theros book, which we've announced. Those two subclasses appeared in Unearthed Arcana, but did not get a sort of revisited treatment.
Here goes. I once was I'll
sing it for you because you can mimic perfectly. So
Yes.
you're actually able to sound exactly like it sounded in your head.
Cool. Jay, can you turn off the background music while
Yes,
you do that?
absolutely.
Thank you.
Definitely
It's gonna break my ears otherwise.
Yep. One moment, please. It says, "We welcome you with whispered song into the depths of righting wrongs, where colors blend with eyes on guard. A simple grin will propel onward."
Yes, I have noticed that.
Who should these?
Our paladin of Tyr. Wait, did she survive and we all went to hell? Oh, this is also my fault.
I mean, maybe she killed us.
I mean, I did bring us in this situation once again. I'm sorry, everybody. I didn't mean for everybody to get killed like this. I was just trying to get some money so I can live happily.
I'll be honest, I forgive you. It's okay.
Thank you. I don't know you, but I really appreciate that. It means a lot that someone at least is like, you know.
I mean, it's not your fault that I'm dead. It might be your fault that I'm dead. But,
Possibly, yeah.
Yeah, but if it's not, I forgive you. And I mean, if it is, we'll see.
I need a second. I'm gonna turn this way real quick.
I just want to confirm everything with you because you seem like a man of science, and the man of science is precise.
I am a man of science.
And you're precise, right?
Always precise.
I pull out my notebook, so let's double check these. All right, so let me see. The first one, as I look at my notes, is the northernmost part of the hall of definitely not petrified people. We're placing the keg on the other side of the secret door at the farthest point, and then past the secret door in the hall of ice, the promenade of ice, which definitely is not the same thing. One in the center of the promenade between the two center pillars. We put one between the columns that you enter through. Never go beyond the pillars under any circumstances, no matter what happens. One in the private sanctum under the weird bold thing. Put one there, and play one in the arena at the entrance door under the crowd during our last match. Did I get all that?
Yeah, sounds about right.
All right, let's do it.
I heard somebody say yesterday at the Realmsmith booth, one of the guys there, they said, arm length away, if it looks good, is probably enough.
That's a great standard. That's a great way to do it, right? Because that's generally how people are going to see it at the table.
Yep.
Yeah.
How many people here play D&D? Right on. I'm going to go through editions. We do this every class. 5th edition. Who plays 4th?
I played.
3rd, 3.5. Yeah, Pathfinder. 2nd edition.
Yeah.
1st edition.
Yep.
Nice.
Awesome stuff. I loved / felt the pang of I don't know about sadness necessarily, but remorse or misty longing for what I believe was a rebroadcast of Jason Azevedo painting miniatures during Origins Game Fair last year. But one day we will be able to go to conventions like that in person, and in the meantime we can watch all the amazing content that's coming through and sound off which edition everybody has played in doing so. But great work from the D4 crew as always. I thought for a moment he was going to actually sing the song, but I'm glad that was no, I'm sorry, I'm mixing that up. That was also Jason's group with the singing of the song. In any case, all fun and amazing fun things. Nostalgia. Thank you, V, as she says in the thing. Yes, nostalgia was the word I was looking for. If you would like to nominate or get one of your favorite clips up into the D&D Rewind for this week, the best way for you to do it is to make a clip within the Twitch interface, share that clip with as many folks as you can, get more views on it if you are in the way of doing it. And then if you want to tag in some amazing folks and get it going on social media, you might even get more people to watch it. And when our editor, Steve Sprinkles, goes through, he will see the clips out there with the most views, and those most likely will rise to the top and be included in this week's D&D Rewind. So thank you to all of the amazing groups playing, as well as the designers, Jeremy Crawford and Dan Dillon, talking to Bart Carroll about the most recent Unearthed Arcana, which is always a fun drop of new content out there. And we, as always, want your feedback on it 100%. So go, if you have not already given feedback on any of the Unearthed Arcanas that have been released over the last few months, please go ahead and do. I don't know if all of them are open, but many of them are still open for surveys. And that is a wonderful tool for us to be able to determine what people enjoy about a particular set of mechanics or not. And we really crunch that data, and that is where your voice can be heard the loudest about what you played and did not play for those groups. So yeah, do that if you can. And I also wanted to talk about some fun things going on in the realm of the D&D Adventurers League. So let me get to that right now, and this is where I'm going to talk about the adventure. So you can return to your ancestral home in Return to the Glory, a brand new 38-page dungeon crawl for 6th to 8th level orc and half-orc characters. You'll notice some really great names in the list of folks who put things together, including Chris Lindsay, the D&D Adventurers League admins, some great editorial assistants, and a pinch from Tanya DePass, as well as Guild Adept creators and wonderful artists, including the cartographer Dyson Logos and Lars Grant West as a contributor to the artwork there. All of the proceeds for downloading Return to the Glory on Dungeon Masters Guild, which is $9.99, I believe. All the proceeds for that will go directly to Red Nose Day. So not only will you get a brand new 38-page dungeon that explores all of the fun stuff that it does, you can help a great cause by doing so. And Red Nose Day, as I said, is helping children in poverty get the food, medicine, and shelter they need during this time. And it's a fantastic adventure, so give it a spin. Also, the D&D Adventurers League wants to continue pushing out content for the Stay at Home, Play at Home initiative. There's more free adventures and assets available each weekday at 5 p.m. Pacific time. That it can be found on the Dungeons & Dragons website, so dnd.wizards.com/remote. We'll continue to do that until, I don't know. I don't think we have an end date for that. I just think we're just going to continue doing that forever and ever. To get more folks excited about playing Dungeons & Dragons from home. There's also a couple of awesome Adventurers League online events. The May Days charity event ended on May 18th, but we are happy to say that after running 103 Adventurers League tables within their tabletop lineup, we raised more than, well, maybe not more than, this sounds like an exact number, $9,828 for homeless shelters, food banks, and suicide prevention. And we are extremely excited and wanted to thank everyone who donated their time and money for such wonderful, meaningful causes. We are also excited to kick off an online epic Extra Life event called Unite the Clans. Unite the Factions versus Zaztam. And that is kicked off this past Sunday. And coming on Sunday the 31st, you can feel the beat of the drums of the dead, a 3-hour epic set in Chult. And there will be tons of parties working together to stop Zaztam, the terrible lich, right? He's a lich from the Red Wizards of Thay. I think I'm getting that right. From amassing an undead army and directing it toward Port Nyanzaro. No, wait, I don't think I am. No, I think I am. I don't know. You guys can tell me if I'm getting that right. And now I'm going to look at chat to make sure that I'm getting that right. It's fun stuff, and I'm really, really excited about it. So please go ahead and check out what is happening there as I flounder to try and find more things. Yeah, so you can find out about it at unitethefactions.com, and it all is to raise money for Toronto's children hospitals. We mentioned Dungeon Masters Guild a couple times throughout Adventurers League, and they are certainly linked, but you can get as much of that content through Dungeon Masters Guild, as well as a wonderful array of creative content from so many wonderful people out there who have been creating things that you can use for Dungeons and Dragons, including, you know, a last-minute one-shot dungeon that you need to run, crafting some perfect player options for that specific character concept that you've always wanted to pull off, rules for building golems or harvesting monster parts or creating magic items or blending an owl and a bear to create a mythical owl bear with a red nose that you can purchase a t-shirt for Red Nose Day. You can do all those things on DungeonMastersGuild.com, and we are super excited about it. So do that as we make things happen. I kind of skipped over talking about what was happening in the press, so let me go back to that right now because it's a great way to talk a little bit more about what has been happening for us planning D&D Live 2020. I'm trying to find it now. Where's that press part? Where's press? What did I do with it? Who are you? What's my purpose in life? Yes, so some fun things that I wanted to show you are right here from PC Gamer. Dungeons & Dragons rolls out the celebs for D&D Live 2020. We've seen this pull quote written in a couple of different ways over the last few months, even years, but D&D has been having a massive cultural renaissance in the past decade. It's true. It's true. I don't know if it's a resurgence or a renaissance or a renaissance or maybe an age of enlightenment. It's all happening, and we're really super excited about it. So that is a great write-up of what's happening at D&D Live from PC Gamer. We also had Screen Rant say, Dungeons & Dragons upcoming charity event is stacked with talent. The full quote there, a great initiative that exponentially expands on last year's event. That is from ScreenRant.com. Great stuff there. And just shout out to Max Dunbar, comic book artist and D&D artist extraordinaire, for pulling together these amazing portraits in a caricature type form for the D&D Live performers. That's only just a small subset of them. You can kind of see a little bit more of them here as well as on the Dungeons & Dragons website. But, and you know, all these are saying about the stacked amount of talent. I'm getting emails even during this very broadcast about more people who are signing on to play during D&D Live 2020 that I'm super excited about. In fact, I know one person in particular, if anybody has been watching the show Insecure, we've been powering through it on HBO, and I can't wait to go up and tell my wife. I won't be able to tell you guys just yet until everything is signed, who may be playing Dungeons & Dragons during D&D Live. I'm very excited about it, and you're going to be excited about it too. Not to mention some other blockbuster news I got earlier today, as well as there's so much more to talk about D&D Live. We went out with a huge bang, but we're really want everyone to tune in on June 18th at 10 a.m. You won't regret it. If you are a fan of Dungeons & Dragons and gameplay, June 18th is going to be a red letter day for you, and then we are just going to follow it up with amazing, fun, and interesting people playing Dungeons & Dragons throughout that, as well as all of us coming together online during that time, interacting with the Reality RP promotion that we've got going, not to mention playing Dungeons & Dragons Adventurers League. It won't be quite the same as being in person and having all the awesome sets and costumes all around you, but we're going to try our darndest to make it feel as inclusive and for the community as we possibly can. So come be with us June 18th, 10 a.m. Pacific time is when it will all start. And like I said, more announcements to come all about it. All right. What else is happening? There was one other piece of press that I wanted to show to you all before I moved on to my favorite, opening up some miniatures. And that is this. Ooh, wait, never mind. That didn't show up. Let me see if will show up this way. Oh, okay. Yeah, right. This is an inside page look at Tabletop Gaming Magazine, which is published in the UK. But they have this wonderful spread for Explorer's Guide to Wildemount. And it says it's a critical success for Critical Role. Get it? Get it? I think that's really cool. And you should check out this magazine if you can. A wonderful write-up from the editorial staff there. Richard Jansen Parks looks like the author. And, you know, they don't do review scores or anything like that, but they do say, play it? Yes. Yes, you should. A world so beautiful, beautifully messy, it feels like you could have made it yourself. And that's a good thing. Yeah, well, I couldn't say it better myself. I'm definitely pulling together a lot of different sources for my own homebrew campaign that I'm starting up, I think, tomorrow night, if all the stars align. And Explorer's Guide to Wildemount is a big part of things that I'm pulling from, not to mention a lot of other fun sources. So check it out. Explorer's Guide to Wildemount is not only good for those of you who want to play in the world of Exandria, as dramatized in the second campaign of Critical Role, but you can also just milk it for all of the great ideas Dungeon Masters use to bring their own creations to life. And in some ways, Explorer's Guide to Wildemount is a great testament, along with Acquisitions Incorporated book we did in 2019, about how a funny little homebrew campaign can turn into something that can be shared with even more people. We're doing it on that larger scale for those books in particular. But I think it's also true of what's happening on Dungeon Masters Guild, where people are creating things for their home game or just had this idea inside them for a mechanic out there, and they put it out into the world, and they get a wonderful response, and it just enriches the D&D community so much. So I don't know exactly what I'm going with here, but I'm just saying I love people creating, and we had a great time talking to Noelle Stevenson on Dragon Talk last week. That episode is going to be available for download on podcast feeds starting on Thursday. But it was such a great interview because Noelle had been working so much on the 5 seasons of She-Ra on Netflix, and I was struck by how much she equated the shift from being a creator who's a little bit more independent and you have to kind of fight for your vision to being a leader and a dungeon master almost for so many different people being creative to produce a show of that magnitude. And I really took it to heart. I think it's like something that we all should learn is about how things are made by communities, not made by individuals. And that is something that I've seen again and again through my own theater productions, not to mention the game productions that I'm seeing come out from the amazing designers at Wizards of the Coast. And it's true in Hollywood, and it's true in animation and in other movies too. And so there's no better practice than being a dungeon master for those type of creative projects out there. So good stuff. All right, now I wasted too much time, and I won't have a lot of time to play with toys, and I don't like that. I want to spend as much time playing with toys as I can. So this is an awesome box of miniatures that you can get. You can see all what's in the tin from the clear plastic here. This set is designed to be used with Descent into Avernus, but you can use any of these miniatures in any way you wish, obviously. But they are a great pack together. These characters were all created in conjunction with actor and storyteller extraordinaire Joe Manganiello. I'll start with perhaps his most famous character, which is Arkin the Cruel. And let's see what he looks like in all of his glory with my miniature cam. Ooh, there you go. Ooh, that looks real good. Gotta get rid of these guys in the background. I always think that they're invisible, but they're not. I like that mini of Arkin. It just looks so I don't know. It's such a great detailed miniature that we don't normally see for Dragonborn, which I think is super cool. And he's got his one of his followers, Toragar Steelfist. I am Toragar, a minotaur with dual-wielding scimitars. I wonder if that was on purpose. I do have to say, I think I said this the last time I opened up these things, but this was back when we were in the office months and months ago when these were just first coming out. But these are all available now. Do I know how to open packages? Can you tell me how to open packages? No, I can't, because packages are too hard for people to open. Gosh, I really should have done this ahead of time. I apologize, guys. But, you know, I always tell new parents, spoiler alert, for when you're packaging a lot of gifts around a certain December holiday, to make sure you open up as much as you possibly can ahead of time so that you don't spend your morning doing what I'm trying to do right now, which is open up a toy. Oh, all right, there we go. But now I get this wonderful hook so I can hang it on the Christmas tree. This manticore, which is colloquially known as Shango. Django? Django. That's Django. Oh my gosh, that is the best manticore that I have ever seen. And if anybody disagrees with me, you can fight me. I love this this manticore so much. I'm going to use this miniature whenever I need to run manticores going forward because it is fantabulous. There was always something about the face of the manticore that didn't seem real, even from the artwork in the monster manual. It just felt kind of uncanny valley-y, and this now does not. It looks super canny. Again, I think I feel like I have deja vu. Did I say that the last time that I was opening this up? I think I might have. Well, you get a double duty. You get a double duty of me saying the same thing over and over again. But that's a really good manticore. And then there is Krull, the turtle, the dark turtle warlock. He's got a spiky, almost like monolith-looking shell behind him, as well as all of his accoutrements. Real good-looking Krull there. If anybody wants a terrifying turtle. And here is also some minions. It's a Berserker of Arkan. You can use this if you need a kind of a barbarian or a berserker type. And then this one is a white Abishai. Now all of these can of course be used alongside the miniatures for Arkan for when you're running part of Descent into Avernus and perhaps want to dramatize what's happening in that tower with these fine miniatures. So this is available, as I said, right now from game stores. It's even got a cool background, actually. I didn't even see how awesome that artwork is back there of Arkan. Why don't you go and order it and see if you can do in-store pickup or perhaps pick up after the fact from your local game store. That's the way to do it. I certainly enjoy that. Here's one more look at those minis, and I'm going to bring Arkan to the foreground here too. Hi, I'm Arkan. I have a hand of Vecna. I'm not evil, except I'm extremely evil. But I'm also... could be an anti-hero, but I'm also just going to kill you all. You're dead. I don't think he's actually going to kill us all, but you can contend against him and or perhaps convince him to be on your side and release Tiamat and deal with some of your problems in the plane of Avernus. What do you think about that, people? Yes, you can. I am looking on chat, seeing what you guys are doing as I'm getting to roll it down here. Misunderstood, says Crocus Maximus. I think you're right. I think that might be what's happening. And Doug Crowell, you almost had a TPK, huh? Running Descent into Avernus. Plum Bloco, that's not a bad idea to have some to have in your background and then ready to use them whenever you need them. And you're right, Doug Crowell, as you said earlier in here, the Icespire peaks, using that Manticore is a perfect reason for jumping into that. Oh, and hi, Sly Flourish. I'm glad I've got some kind of calming effect on somebody. I do like to talk really encouragingly to you. You're doing a really good job writing up your game notes for your game tomorrow. I really want to play in your game now. I think it's pretty cool. Michaela says that Justice Armand shouldn't be trusted. Oh, but I will trust him to the end of the earth. Goblin Katie, have fun having your waffles. I think it is also not quite dinner time for me, but time for me to start signing off, unless anybody here wants me to open up one final box of D&D miniatures. Okay, fine. Bana UK, you have a question that is relevant to my interests. It is a new storyline. We inadvertently used the word setting in some of our text. It is not a new setting. It is a new storyline. So look for that when it is coming on June 18th. You'll find out more when that comes. All right, another box here. And we got some familiar faces. Here's the first one is a Chitine, Chitine. I don't think I've ever used one of those guys before, but I will be doing it so now. Then I've got round number 2. This one's got some magical effects happening. Ooh, I don't think I've ever seen this guy before. It's super creepy. Oh my gosh, look at this. All right, bump you back, Arkin. I'm going to bump back Arkin there and show you the Skull Lord. I am the Skull Lord. See, he's got 3 skulls for heads there with a magical effect coming out there. Oh, man, that Skull Lord is looking pretty badass. All right, Arkin, you're upstaging the Skull Lord there. Pretty cool. Wow. I am going to be using that one for my undead-themed adventure that I'm planning. Yes. Okay, there's miniature number 3. And this is also a super creepy one. I have picked this one out, but not in a while. This will also be handy in my undead campaign that I'm starting up. This is an Alep. Hello, Alep. How are you doing? Alep. Oh, it looks really good actually right here. You know what? Maybe having more people here to focus on actually is making the autofocus work better. But look at that sculpting on the back too. Wow. Yeah, that is awesome. And it looks really good. Creepy AF, as they say. And not to be outdone by all of the other dog and wolf-shaped creatures that we got here. Here is a Lucretia. Wait, no, it's not Lucretia. It's Lucrata. A Lucrata. I got a Lucrata. And he's going to eat you. No! You shall become an undead creature. I will raise you. But what about Barghest? What about Barghest McGillicuddy? He wants to come in too. I'm sensing a theme with this Icons of the Realm set, where there is all little animal type creatures who are like trying to bite with their teeth and eat your face. But that's it. That's all the minis that are fit to print. Thank you so much for everybody paying attention and jumping in for us on D&D Live 2020. Want you all there on June 18th. Stay tuned to Wizards' social media, as well as on the website, dungeonsanddragons.com, for more information and more people that I'm being emailed about right now that are coming in that I can't wait to tell you about. So it's going to be exciting, is all I can say. June 18th, 10 a.m. Pacific time. I'll see you there, and I'll see you this week when we interview Matthew Lillard on Dragon Talk starting at 12 noon. And guess what? We might be talking about D&D Live. I can't wait. Thank you so much for being with me. Stick around. We have Learning Roll20, I think, coming up in a few minutes with Victoria Rogers and Carlos Luna talking through another topic on how to get started playing on Roll20. So let's make it happen, people. You're the best.